All right, hello and welcome to the first Paper Hands Capital portfolio analysis, thoughts and feelings chat session. So, the reason that I'm doing this is just to get a better understanding of my portfolio as a whole, get an understanding of the market. This is sort of like almost like a journal, an audio journal, saying things out loud and thinking through them this way. Journaling in general has a profound impact on your understanding of the subject matter. So speaking these things out loud and saying them to myself, I'm hoping to get a better understanding of my emotions of the market, everything as a whole. So this is a little screenshot of the portfolio as of 4th September. Obviously, quite heavily weighted Bitcoin and stables at the moment. Quite a few little small positions. So fleshing out a thesis at the moment has been pretty difficult. So I like the real yield narrative and the holding base assets, but I'm torn between that and capital gains. So I don't have a massive portfolio at the moment. So if I just took everything and locked it in a V curve position like I do have a little bit, it's not going to be with transaction fees on mainnet. Trying to compound and make a position that way, sort of dividend investing, probably wouldn't be in the long run. Obviously, probably would work as long as Curve, succeeds, and I think it will. Pretty bullish on Curve and that flywheel narrative in general. So I've got a decent Frax position as well, a bigger Frax position. I really believe in the Frax ecosystem. So there's just me trying to work between wanting capital gains or wanting cash flow now. When's the right time to take profits into and lock them up for 4 years? Because obviously in DeFi, that's a ridiculously long time. Curve DeFi hasn't been around for 4 years. So locking everything you own into one protocol is a pretty crazy bet. So we'll see how that sort of thing works out. So the breakdown at the moment, stable position. I've never been one to hold a big stable position. I'm trying to learn how to cope with that at the moment. Obviously, we've only got a less than a 20% stable position at the moment, and I definitely feel underexposed, even though the market is imploding. So sort of just got to reel back that degenerate nature just to go all in. BTC. So I was originally, obviously, like a lot of people, my portfolio was 100% Bitcoin. And over time, I haven't reduced any of my position, but I haven't been adding to it for 2 years now, probably. So I'm just trying to. We'll break that down further anyway, a bit later on. So ADA, I got into ADA at a fairly good price point, actually. I think my cost base is about 20 cents, something like that. So it was actually one of my best performing positions for last cycle. It ran harder and faster than anything else. It blew up before most things. So I kept thinking that it was going to continue the bull run as Bitcoin was going, and it sort of just kept trending down. So I haven't. I did shave a little bit of that a while ago to enter some other positions, but it was I only took about 10% of the position out. So yeah, I'm looking to definitely carve a sizable piece out of that next run, or even in this bear cycle. So Frax and Curve, this whole flywheel, I'm really bullish on. The Frax especially, they've just deployed their Frax Lend. They've got their Frax ETH coming out soon. Curve just seems, it's just the David versus every other, it's the Goliath in the David story. I mean, I don't know who's David right now, but I mean, it's just massive. There's insane amounts of TVL. The fees and everything aren't quite there yet. Uniswap still has a massive market share. And I don't know, I think that's more just participants not understanding that they can get better. It's sort of when people want to swap things, they just instantly just go to Uniswap. They don't even try to go to like 1inch and get another router and see what actually the best position is. They just head straight there. So Akash is a bit of an off one. If you don't know what it is, it's a decentralized cloud computing service. So the same thing that what is called Amazon Web Services and basically web hosting, but decentralized. So it's an insanely big industry, and Akash can do it for 1/10 the price that Amazon does it, and I think that's a pretty massive narrative. It doesn't seem to be getting a lot of love. It's a Cosmos blockchain, so it's not. If it was on ETH, I don't know if it'd get more attention or less, but there just doesn't seem to be a whole lot going on over there at the moment. They're really active community. They've been, not the community, but the actual devs themselves. They've been really ramping up their efforts lately. They're doing weekly, not Twitter Spaces, but YouTube live streams and things like that, and really pushing into the community sort of thing. So metaverse and gaming NFT, so that's like the RFox and the Veracity that I've got. I did have a Looks position that I've just sold yesterday. Actually, it's just not the volume there is just absolutely abysmal. It's just OpenSea is absolutely destroying it. I don't understand why it didn't pick up. For everything that I can see, it should have. I'm not sure why people didn't start using it when it first launched. Well, they were obviously using it then, wash trading the fuck out of it, but it's more why it didn't retain users. I'm not sure. RFox is, they're doing, their VR, AR, metaverse, that sort of thing, and it's a micro cap. So I've got a 2% position or something like that, 1.5% position of the portfolio. So I'm just sort of, that's one of the lotto ticket sort of ones. Same with Veracity. Who knows what's going to go across there? And then dust across L1 and L2's random things. Random things across Arbitrum for the Odyssey, and so there's bits and pieces all around the place, but that would only be another 1% of the portfolio. Just LPing in different places, airdrop hunting and that sort of thing. So the biggest thing I'm looking at right now, obviously Bitcoin's nearly 50% of the portfolio. So I want to probably reduce that down to probably a quarter of the portfolio, less even. They're sort of running out of narratives, the Bitcoin thing. So that they were meant to be an inflation hedge, and clearly they're not. They were meant to be, Lightning Network. I think there's more Bitcoin on Arbitrum than there is on the Lightning Network, something like that. So I don't know where I saw that. Some ridiculous statistic like that recently, like that. It just doesn't exist. No one's using it. Not enough to drive the narrative anyway. So yeah, I think if I drop that position by 75%, not the portfolio, but that position itself cut up by 75%, I'll still have enough Bitcoin that if it does achieve world domination, then I'll have more than enough to be wealthy. So I think I'm going to trim that position down and redeploy it elsewhere for now. Only reason I'm struggling to right now is obviously because we're sitting at, below 20k, just abysmally low. It's not abysmally low, it's what it was 2 years ago, but that still doesn't feel good when it was at 65k, a couple of months ago. So that's just sort of what I'm wrestling with now. Not wanting to be that low IQ capitulator at the bottom. So the macro conditions are obviously horrendous at the moment. Got global currency collapses in, China's going down. The yen is absolutely imploding. The Australian dollar is surprisingly holding up all right. We're a heavy exporter country of coal and lithium and crops and that sort of thing. And that's sort of, people still need coal, people still need food, as much as we're moving away from, into green energy and all that thing. Coal is still just a massive industry, and it's keeping the country afloat essentially at the moment, keeping the currency afloat. So the DXY, it's like I'm popping its head over 110 at the moment, so it's just crushing most currencies. So we're just waiting for probably another 75 basis point hike this week. Actually, I think it's next week in about 5 days. So the market's probably going to get smashed again. So I think the bottom. Personally, I really do think the bottom is now-ish or soon, I'm probably going to start deploying those stables soon, reducing Bitcoin and moving that elsewhere. So it also could be the time, like I've written here, to not do anything at all. That's pretty much what's churning in the head at the moment. So I used to have a sizable for my portfolio ETH position, and then that just got evaporated in the NFT market like everyone else's. So I've basically got ETH for transaction value now, and I don't have an actual position. There's the value, there's the idea that having anything on the any ETH ecosystem tokens, you're long ETH essentially. So do you need that extra exposure to it, apart from buying it now, so in the future your transactions are cheaper, maybe? But I don't know if you consider that a position. The flywheel, that's the whole curve, and Frax ecosystem. So I don't own any convex because I feel like Frax, convex, and curve are so tightly coupled that you don't need all of them. Having one of them is basically having all of them at this stage. But I do just really, really like Frax, so I do have a position there. I'm looking to probably even double my position in both Curve and Frax. So I'd like to see something like nearly 30%, 25 to 30% of my whole portfolio be split between Curve and Frax, that sort of thing. So whether that comes from Bitcoin, I might shave the ADA position to achieve that. Obviously, I've still got stables. I'm still working on being strict about my stable position, trying not to ever have stables below 10%, because the stables mean flexibility. They mean you can take opportunities when they arise. Last cycle, I was like 2% stables at any time. And so when something came up that I really liked, I had to shave other things, drop other positions. It wasn't a relaxing, it didn't feel like I had my portfolio in a place where I could just do the things I wanted to do. Essentially, I had to micromanage a lot of things. So that's what I'm trying to get into a position where you're comfortable and you can just move in and out, have things on the sideline, ridiculous tanks in for 1 week you can buy up and that sort of thing. So where to go from here is doing a lot of research at the moment. There's quite a few things popping up that I like the look of. Obviously, the Arbitrum ecosystem's exploding. I do like there's a couple of projects on Metis that I'm sort of looking at. Synapse is another one that looks good. Solidly is rebranding, relaunching on mainnet. I'm not sure what's going on there because you've got their original Twitter account saying that that doesn't belong to them, and so I don't know what's happening there. But the tokens are being burnt, reminted on mainnet. So that's one I'm keeping my eye on as well. So yeah, that's basically all I'm thinking about at the moment. Probably no one watching this, but thank you if you have. All right, bye.